Somehow you time travel to 8 years ago and your ears are instantly blessed with this track. There are no rainbows on roads, and the thought of COVID-19 hasn't crossed anyone's mind. The world is mostly peaceful, with its peak drama being politics. Donald Trump has unbelievably won the elections which he once stated he would. The Russia-Ukraine or Israel-Palestine war is just but a nightmare possibility and barely a subject of interest. All was serene and one thing stood up most. The 2016 XXL Cypher. Quickly it got more recognition, and for sure after a few hours of upload it was predictable that it would become the most successful cypher after Eminem's Shady 2011.
Wanna stop it? You gon' need a priest, at least 3 swords, a license to ill from the Beastie Boys, 3 Ouija.
It was so famous that one of the rappers, Lil Uzi Vert, got enough success that he would unknowingly cause the breakthrough of Lyrical Lemonade's career. More on that later in the video. Everything about the style was different. The seriousness was replaced by plenty of fun, which made it stand out.
Feel good rapper. You just hear my song and just be smiling every time.
Who would have thought that ad-libs would be a go-to in freestyles?
Goddamn! What?
The music world was getting a new wave, whose sale relied more on a strong bond between the artist and the fans. Physical music sales were declining, and we have our lovely SoundCloud to thank for that. SoundCloud releases were getting so popular that it resulted to its own category of rappers, the SoundCloud rappers. In 2016 alone, SoundCloud uploads rose by over 120% and the number of Lil-named rappers was over 10,000. The new sound wasn't welcomed obviously, especially by the old heads who saw it as a crime with a near equivalence to death. Let's see the victims who were nearly disregarded as dumb.
In this industry, music business, you are happy 24/7.
Starting with Lil Boat, his hate solidified when he gave the second worst freestyle in the multiverse after Anderson .Paak's cypher.
I'm trying to think what to do. I don't know.
I took your mama to Greystone. We got in with no problem.
You say you fucking flashlight?
Lil Boat was super reluctant and dismissive throughout the freestyle. The hate was all because it was his mainstream appearance and people commonly despise what they don't understand. In fact, one can argue that his core fan base wasn't really surprised by his rapping, as that's exactly the type of energy he was portraying. The freestyle we would get from Yate varies much from what we'd expect from Meek Mill or Token. Doesn't mean they suck. Lil Yachty's fan base itself rose quick with only one mixtape, Summer Songs. Though it didn't seem like he put any effort behind the album, he has emphasized that he always had a clear motive throughout his career. But is that true? Let's take a quick look into that. In a Pitchfork interview, he really upset diehard rap fans when he claimed that Biggie was overrated.
Can't say the same for him.
In Yachty's very first interview with Hot 97, he voiced how non-invested he was in rap, which sparked the Joe Budden reaction I showed earlier. After that, Twitter executed what it does best, meaning insults just kept hitting home. With this, he saw the need to make amends, kickstarting the process with a more focused XXL freestyle, followed by a nice wordplay on radio.
Grow up the boosie. All I care about is feeding my family and getting out of that camera.
Of course, this wasn't enough, and as a matter of fact, things got slightly worse. Flex addressed him live.
That's called motherfucking bars, nigga! You know nothing about that! Lil Yachty, you don't want nothing too!
Yachty followed this with a music release with the name Hot 97 all over the tittle. Still, he wasn't getting positive reviews, which prompted him to call the station.
Nigga, that shit is hard, bro.
He figured that however harsh the critics may be, a nice album would fix it. With that, he went back to cooking. On May of the following year, his very first album, Teenage Emotion, dropped, selling 44K in its first week. The feedback was so bad that he wrote a letter. Entailed in the letter were the words, "When I first released the album I thought it was fire, then sales came back, I was devastated and so confused I worked so hard." His follow-up album sold 64K but was overwhelmed by features and with that dismissed by fans. His turning point would come as a result of a hacker who came across the Poland snippet.
I took the walk.
With its release, his career was automatically resurrected and brand deals were flying in. Today, Lil Yachty has been discovered as the secret recipe to viral music.
They figured out that I'm the secret recipe, the baddest hoes gon' test to eat.
Another victim of the so-called mumble rap is Lil Uzi Vert. Uzi is best recognized from his oversaturated auto-tune plus catchy melodies, qualities that saw him rise to fame along with most associated with him. He wasn't always the rock star he is now. To understand the role 2016 played in his longtime career, we have to trace it back to 2014 when he dropped his first project, Purple Thoughts. Shortly after its drop, he for the first time created a SoundCloud account and uploaded his music. Through SoundCloud, he secured the attention of Don Cannon, a founder of Atlanta Records. Through Don Cannon, he was introduced to DJ Drama, an established producer. Uzi then dropped his first official mixtape, The Real Uzi Tape, containing some Metro Boomin production. Here his sound was developed gradually, and so was his work ethic. Don Cannon would then use his networking through DJ Diamond Cuts, ensuring Uzi's song was played a couple times on Power 99. Uzi's sound was starting to get recognition, and thanks to his unique style, he stood out. In 2015, he released his fan favorite mixtape, Love Is Rage 1. It was kind of like what Born Sinner was to J. Cole or Section 80 to Kendrick Lamar. Immediately after the album release, he caught the eye of Young Thug and landed a feature on Big Racks. Thug's audience welcomed him gracefully since their style was a nice blend, meaning they were within their fans' comfort. Uzi was finally starting to see the light at the end of his tunnel, with articles publishing about him and landing interviews. The next thing he knows, the cypher. A simple 1-minute verse would be the turning point of his career. Before this, he was charging around $56K, and for that reason Cole Bennett had successfully landed Uzi at one of the shows he was hosting. After the sudden blow-up, he could not turn down Cole Bennett, and so he went with it. Just like that, the brand Lyrical Lemonade caught on. 2016 nostalgia was also contributed by Lyrical Lemonade's videos. Unlike in the past years, there was suddenly a platform that made fans more excited for music. The brand itself represented a higher level of video production, and with it came anticipation and artist promotion. It was through Lyrical Lemonade that I got to be introduced to Lil Skies, who for a long time had the most number of views on the page until Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD was the rapper version of Lyrical Lemonade. The passion matched, and as expected, the output was incredible. Juice WRLD wanted to be the best rapper, while Cole Bennett wanted to be the best videographer, ambitions that pushed them harder to accomplishing their dreams. I'll make a video on why 2017 was legendary to cover Juice WRLD and Temptation as part of the emo rap. Subscribe to stay updated. 21 Savage is the other iconic rapper that carried 2016 to another level musically. His voice was so experimental that few people truly believed he would survive the test of time. In a sport like trap, where a small percentage gets to mainstream and an even smaller percentage achieves commercial success, I can see why. 21 Savage never had a dream of becoming a rapper. He instead was influenced by the drug dealers in the streets he grew up in, who seemed to have a significantly luxurious life than most. At 9th grade, he dropped out of school to focus on selling weed. Slowly, he started falling in love with the lifestyle, and for sure, his money was stacking up. Few months into the craft, while on a car with his friends, the back door was opened, and without hesitation, bullets were flying in, killing Johnny on the spot. Savage was shot 6 times, but still managed to disarm the shooter and fire. 2016 enters Metro Boomin. The Savage Mode album, produced by Metro, was released featuring classics, and later on is considered his fan favorite album. News of the rapper with a knife tattoo on his face was spreading like wildfire. There was plenty to talk about on the newly discovered rapper. His image itself was the persona rap fans were interested in. Through Savage Mode publicity, he landed his first double XL cypher, where history was made. Like I said earlier, people are reluctant to what's new to them. The album was labeled mid, and until the following year he had to deal with the tittle mumble rapper. Enters 2017, and with it his most iconic album, Issa album. The song Bank Account is what specifically stood out most. After the first few months of release, it was getting remixed by other famous rappers like Joyner Lucas and Machine Gun Kelly. Bank Account got so successful that its remixes were getting millions of views. The debate went from whether he would stand the test of time to whether he stands a chance in the best rapper debate. Standing the test of time is what the man behind the famous 2016 ad-lib failed to achieve. Designer was the fresh, carefree voice of 2016, so much so that famous names like Kanye West and Drake were bidding for him. Under a short period of time, Designer achieved what most rappers could only wish for, a diamond platinum with one song. His fast blow-up would be his poison, and would eventually lead to the name One Hit Wonder. He had one more hit, Timmy Turner, but afterwards he was done. In contrast to his fellow fast-rising rappers, he had one unmissable setback: lack of originality. Even though his rapping style matched to how he sounds in speech, he was constantly compared to Future. Under a short period of time, Future caught wind of these and addressed him on stage. Things only got worse for Designer when he puked hard on stage in front of thousands of people. The pressure was slowly getting to him, and at last he had a big emotional breakdown. Yo, Rel. Having a huge star like Future against you is hard unless you have an established fan base. Even then, huge artists rarely respond. To learn why Kendrick won't respond to the Drake diss, click on the video on the screen.